What's going on, y'all? It is officially time for my 2026 NFL Draft running back rankings, and I'm going to be honest, this year's class doesn't have me excited. Same thing I said about quarterback, which y'all should go check out that video as well. Not doing so good. So if y'all could go leave a like, greatly appreciated. But yeah, this running back class, I mean, there's a couple, I guess, intriguing pieces that you'll see 11 through 25. Not really much. And even in the top 10, I would argue there's not a lot of starters in this year's draft. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting really with, I think you can put in a whole tier from really like 25 to 17 of guys that are fringe UDFAs, maybe late sevens for like 17 and 18 with Terry and Stewart and Noah Whittington. But yeah, I mean, they're not great prospects, to be honest with y'all. I mean, none are really great athletes outside Jam Miller is a pretty good athlete, I guess you could say, with that 4.42 speed, but he's also not explosive. So overall athlete, not really. A lot of these guys, or a couple, I guess I should say, being four of them, didn't even get invited to the combine or didn't participate. And I mean, it goes beyond just the pure numbers. Like when you look at them on tape, like they just are not efficient runners. I think Terry and Stewart is by far the best one out of these guys. That's why he's ranked the highest. But he also, like, he has his flaws. Like, he's not a good receiving back. He's not the best athlete in the world. So it's like, just because you are efficient on 469 rushing yards, does that mean you get taken in the draft? I don't know. So really, I would say there's not a lot to talk about most of these guys. Like Anthony Hankerson is one that sticks out. He is a terrible athlete, but he was really, really productive on the ground with 57 missed tackles forced, which is just a insane number, and 30 first downs, which is also a nice number. But the yards after contact wasn't good. He's not this great receiving back either. And like I said, the overall testing and athleticism was so bad I don't even know if he gets drafted. Like, I don't know a single running back currently that's in this stratosphere. Like, is Najee Harris like this type of athlete? And we all give Najee a lot of flack for it. So, yeah, there's not a lot I'm truly excited about. 17, excuse me, through 25. So let's move into the top 16 where I do think it takes a step. Jay Knott out of Oklahoma. He's not the biggest guy in the world, 5'11, 200 pounds, but he's a heck of an athlete, tested out very good. Looked awesome at the Senior Bowl. Looked great down in Mobile. He didn't even have 100 scrimmage yards. So it's like, what was going on at Oklahoma to the point where he couldn't get on the field? Like, I'm not really sure what the issue was here with Jaden Knott, to be honest with y'all, with all of y'all. I mean, 78 total yards on the year. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm basing it off what I saw because I really didn't get to see much of anything while he was at Oklahoma last season. But like in terms of watching him at the Senior Bowl and also just how good he tested at the combine, it already intrigues me more than the guys 17 through 25. So I do think if you wanted to take a shot on Jaden Knott or pick him up as a preferred UDFA, that's perfectly fine with me. Eli Hendrich out of Navy is a very interesting player. He's a very good athlete. He's not the biggest guy in the world, 6 foot 198, but he's like a hybrid of a running back and receiver. I mean, he almost had 1,000 receiving yards, but also 500 rushing yards. He was pretty efficient on the ground as well, which I think big thumbs up for that. Doesn't drop the ball much at all. So I do want to give him props for that. The thing is, some people view this guy as a fullback, and it's like a 198-pound fullback. Like he's going to have to add at least 30 or 40 pounds to that frame to even consider playing fullback in the NFL. So the main reason he's here, even though he could arguably be more talented than the next like 3 to 4 guys ahead of him, I don't know what he is at the NFL level. I really don't know how a team's going to like. Is he Savion Williams? Except he's not 6'5" and nearly the athlete Savion was. Like I don't know. So I do think this is where I start to get comfortable with 14 and up. Of you could have a RB2 on your hands at the NFL level, starting off with really in a pair to me, Seth McGowan and Adam Randall out of Clemson and Kentucky. Randall's bigger, he's longer. He's almost just as good as an athlete. He's a better pass catcher. They both make a similar amount of missed tackles forced, that rate 32 and 34 overall on the season. Randall's a more efficient runner, yards after contacts 3.13. First downs, he gets you more, drops the ball less. I mean, I just think Adam Randall is an overall better player than Seth McGowan. and he's also 2 to 3 years younger because if you don't know about McGowan, he started off somewhere else. I can't think of the school, but then he got in trouble. He stepped away from football, I think for 2 years, I believe. Then Kentucky gave him a shot because his old head coach, where he was elsewhere, came to Kentucky, called him up. He came and he looked pretty good to the point where he might get drafted in like the fifth or sixth round. So shout out to Seth McGowan for the inspiring story and turning his life around. I still don't think there's much there as an NFL player, to be honest with you. 12, Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest. Some people love this guy, have him in like the top 10, top 8. I'm not there with him. Like, yeah, he's a pretty good athlete, runs in the 4.3s. That's cool. He also is 5'10, 188 pounds, so he probably should. He's not a great receiving back at all. 137 yards on a almost 18% drop rate. And he fumbled the ball 5 times last year. If you know me, I tend to be a stickler with fumbles. I do not love prospects that fumble a lot. I just don't. I was lower on Bashal Tutin last year because he had like 9 fumbles over 2 seasons. He looks solid as a rookie because he's such a great athlete. But I think Tutin's a way better athlete than even Claiborne is. So it's like, there you go. I mean, that should speak volumes. If Tutin was like my RB 18 last year, Claiborne would probably be my RB like 23. So it's really just not a great class. I mean, like said, maybe Claiborne's a change of pace back if you want to bring some speed in the game, but he's got to develop as a receiving back. Like 18% drop rate and just really no production at Wake Forest doing it. That's not going to cut it at the NFL level. I'm going to go ahead and talk in a package deal of number 11 and 10 because they're both Indiana Hoosier running backs and they are very similar. Roman Himby's at 11, Kalen Black's at 10. Let me explain why. Himby is a little taller, same weight. Himby, I believe, is a year or two older. I don't know Kalen Black's official age. It's not listed anywhere. Himby's a little bit longer. Neither one of them tested out. I would say Black is the better overall athlete. But I mean, very similar production. Himby obviously got more touches. That's largely why he had 7 more missed tackles forced, but it shows Black was the more efficient runner after contact. They both got 26 first downs. They both didn't drop a pass, which is extremely impressive. All the way over here, Hemby's the better special teams player so far based on what I've seen. I think the thing that separates them with their numbers being so close, and if anything, Hemby might get the nod on the overall numbers, it's the eyes. You gotta watch him play running back, especially in the playoffs. You can just feel it. When Kalen Black came in the game, the way he runs the ball, there's just way more explosiveness and just way more grit to it. Like he wants it more than Roman Hemby every single time he touches the ball. So I just like that. I like that trait of Kalen Black's game. I like him as a prospect a little bit more. But like I said, in my world, they're both RB2s slash threes at the NFL level. Let's go ahead and talk about my 1 through 9. And number 9 overall actually does crack my top 150 prospects. And that is going to be Robert Henry out of UTSA. Kind of undersized, 5'9", 197, so he's not a big power back. But man, he was super productive. Like the testing wasn't terrible. It's not great for being that small and light, but it's not bad. He was very efficient on the ground, ran for over 1,000 yards, 112 receiving yards, 10% drop rate's not great, but it's not that bad. I mean, 33 missed tackles. He's efficient with the ball, 0.22, which is clearly over the other players by pretty much a large margin. But this is the number that really gets me going with Robert Henry, and you see it when you watch him play. The yards after contact being 4.22 is insane. He is just so efficient, and it's not like a Terrion Stewart who had, what, under 500 rushing yards. He had over 1,000. So it's like he consistently did this throughout the whole season. He was really by far the best player on UTSA's offense. So it's like I like Robert Henry. I think I would take Robert Henry in the fourth or fifth round of the NFL draft. Let's go ahead and talk about number 8, which is going to be one of the Penn State running backs in Nick Singleton, obviously out of Penn State. Singleton is an interesting prospect. I will say, I mean, the arm length's good. The testing, I'm surprised he didn't run. I think he would have did decent enough to where it would look good on paper. 25 reps on the bench is awesome. Maybe he had like a hamstring problem. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with over 400 prospects and exactly what's going on with all of them. But yeah, I mean, I think Kalen Black, or not Kalen Black, excuse me, Katron Allen was clearly the better running back at Penn State this year. I mean, Singleton, I would even say had a down year for his standards. So it's like you look at the numbers. Obviously, in a two running back system, I'm not going to fault him for having only 546 rushing yards and 219 receiving yards is a very good number, especially having only a 4% drop rate. He didn't fumble the ball. The problem is, Lays for me is right here. He's just, he's a receiving back to me. He's a complimentary RB2 that catches the ball, and he's also a good special teamer. He is just not that efficient on the ground. He's not going to make a ton of people miss. Only 19 missed tackles forced. He's not going to, after he gets hit, he's not going to create much after that. 2.69 yards after contact. I don't know. With Nick Singleton, I'm just not like overly excited. Like, I don't have him in the top 100. I don't even think he cracks my top 125. I believe he's like in the 130s, 140s range at my big board. So, yeah, I mean, he's a fun running back. Not someone I'm overly excited about, to be honest with y'all. So he will be my RB8, and the role I see him as a NFL running back, maybe like a Justice Hill on steroids, potentially, like a better version of that. I guess he is a little bit bigger than Justice Hill because he does have good size at 6'2" or 6 foot, 220 pounds. Early in the morning recording this video. That's why so many English mistakes here. But yeah, I mean, to me, he's a complimentary to receiving back. Let's go ahead and talk about 6 and 7 together. But it's mainly largely due to the fact it's very hard to separate them on my big board. But it is going to be Katron Allen out of Penn State and Jamari Taylor out of Virginia. Both these players I like. I think Katron Allen's clearly the better athlete, and he's 15 pounds heavier. Jamari Taylor, like, man, being 205 pounds and being that slow very well could be a problem for him at the NFL level. But man, he was so productive on the ground at Virginia. Like he was a great receiving back. He had 10% drop rates, not great, but over 250 yards. The missed tackles force for both these guys is just nutty. 57 and 54 missed tackles. They're both great after contact, which they're pretty much both power backs, so they should be. Um, Katron Allen got you more first downs, dropped the ball at a lower rate, even though he got really no receiving work playing with Nick Singleton. But yeah, I mean, Katron Allen to me is clearly the better player in this instance, but they are similar. So it's like if Katron Allen goes in the third round and you get Jamari Taylor in the fourth, I don't think that's too bad in my opinion. Jamari Taylor could be like a mid late day three pick, just because I said NFL really doesn't care about your production. It's more about your athleticism and being 205 pounds and being this slow could be a problem. I don't know, man. When I watch him play, I think he's pretty good and it shows up in the numbers and the tape. I mean, like I said, he can make a lot of people miss. He's good after contact. He can catch the ball as well. Like I like Jamari Taylor's game a lot. And Katron Allen, I would definitely say was the better out of the two Penn State backs, just a way more efficient runner and just makes more people miss overall. So let's go ahead and talk about my top five, starting off with, can you guess it? Can you guess it? It's going to be Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, fifth overall. I like Emmett Johnson's game. I think he has some similar problems to Jamari Taylor in the sense of for being 202 pounds, you're just not a good athlete, but your tape is phenomenal. I mean, almost 1,500 rushing yards on the ground, 370 receiving yards on a 2% drop rate is insane. He's arguably the best pass catcher in the class. 68 missed tackles is a nuts number as well. He's super, 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 super good on paper. The one number that doesn't get me excited is the 2.95 yards after contact. And as you can see, I am a big analytical person because I do think it helps when you watch film to look at the analytics of it and say, okay, I was right for thinking this of, oh, maybe I need to dial this back because the numbers aren't reflecting what I thought I originally saw. So Emmett Johnson is a fun player though. Like I said, like it's really just the contact balance that bothers me a little bit. Like once he gets hit, not much is being created after. He's not the best athlete in the world, but he is a super good player. Like he can make people miss in space. He is a hell of a receiving option. Like Emmett Johnson starts to get to the range of like where I still think RB2 at the NFL level, but I think like I mean Katron Allen too. I think like exciting RB2. Emmett Johnson, I believe, is the first running back. I have five top 100 grades. Emmett Johnson's around 90 on my big board. So he does crack the top 100 for me. Katron Allen's like right on the outside looking in. All right, let's talk about number four, and it's going to be Jonah Coleman out of Washington. Jonah Coleman was someone I really, really loved a lot this offseason. He was my RB2 like forever. Ended up giving two guys the nod, which if you can figure it out by this point on your own, Jadarian Price and Mike Washington. Coleman's a really fun player though. Like he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's 5'8", but he's 220 pounds. He's a little bowling ball. He's not a great athlete. He doesn't have awesome arm length, but man, is he good. Like, like he is very, very good. 750 rushing yards, not bad. 346 receiving yards on a 0% drop rate. Didn't drop a football with that many receiving yards is chef's kiss. 35 missed tackles is a good number, but I'm a sucker for yards after contact and nearly getting close to 4 at 3.58 is just it's an incredible number. So it's like Jonah Coleman just to me is a really fun prospect. Like I said, he's not the overall best athlete in the world. He's he is big though. He's 5'8", 220. He's got great contact balance. Like I said, he's a really good receiving back as well. I don't know if the athleticism and overall size will stop him potentially in the NFL. I like him a lot as a prospect. I really do. He really doesn't have a flaw in his game other than just overall athleticism, which is why I give the next two guys the nod, being Mike Washington and Jadarian Price at 3 and 2, and I'm sure at this point you can figure out who number one is. But we'll talk about Mike Washington and Jadarian Price first. Mike Washington to me is just a better version of Jonah Coleman. He's bigger, 6'1", 228 pounds. He's longer, so he's got better length. He's a way better athlete, ran a 4.33 at 228 pounds is just insane. 39-inch vertical jump, 128-inch broad jump. Like these are insane numbers for Mike Washington. And then you watch him at the Senior Bowl, he looks great. Then you watch him on tape, he looks really good. I mean, the dude had 226 receiving yards on a 3% drop rate. Awesome. Over 1,000 rushing yards, 34 missed tackles forced, 3.86 yards after contact, 30 first downs, 3 fumbles is the one big gripe I have with him. Same thing with Jadarian Price. They both fumbled the ball. And now with Jadarian Price, I mean, 0% drop rate, only got 87 receiving yards. That's because of who's in front of him in in Jeremiah Love, excuse me. But like, yeah, it's clear when you watch the tape with Jadarian Price, he's way better than what his numbers reflect. Obviously, playing with the best running back in the nation will do that to you. But like, he was efficient with the ball. He was good after contact, nearly over 4 yards after contact. He didn't drop the ball. He's a great special teams player. Jadarian Price and Mike Washington, to me, are also very good potential RB2s, like very, very good RB2s at the NFL level. But maybe also like lower end RB1s in this year's class. But to me, number one, not even close. It's Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. I mean, he's an unreal athlete, good size, 6 foot, 212 pounds. Arm length is great. And just the overall production. I mean, nearly 1,400 yards, but he averaged 4.5 yards after contact, which is just insane. Made 56 missed tackles forced, had 1 fumble on all that volume, 3% drop rate, elite number. Like Jeremiah Love is just by far the best overall playmaker in the class to me. I mean, I have a top 5 grade on Jeremiah Love, and it's higher than 5. I can promise you that. So you'll have to check it out on the big board. But yeah, just overall, Jeremiah Love is clearly the best runner in the class. He's also a great pass catcher. He can make people miss in space. His contact balance is chef's kiss. After he gets hit, like I said, the contact balance, awesome. He stays on his feet. Jeremiah Love, clear cut RB1. But yeah, man, that is going to be my running back rankings heading into the NFL draft. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments, and I'll be back tomorrow with the receivers. Peace out.